Hello, boys and girls, and welcome in today's episode.
Today, we will read an exam paper and learn how to deal with each part of it. We are going to give you tips to what you will consider in an exam paper.
So, what should you do from the time you receive the exam paper? Well, let's examine a BM exam test. You can see on top of the page the duration of the exam, which is 1 hour and 30 minutes. So make sure to complete the test within the allotted time.
You have part 1 of the test, which is over 40 with its score 14 points. So to be able to do the activities of this part, you need to read the text carefully and to understand it, all right? In order to be able to do each activity.
So here, after comes the Mastery of Language section with 7 points. Here you have grammar, activities and pronunciation.
And then comes the last part or part 2 of your exam, which is the written expression with 6 points. And here, this is the part that it will take longer time to do. So remember the following tips when writing. First, read the instruction. Second, identify the task type. Respect the task layout. Use the prompts given in the instruction and include the grammar forms mentioned in the instruction. Mr. Zian, shall we have a go with the text paper?
Sure. Well, yes. The first thing to do is to read the text, and I am going to read it for you to help you identify and underline, if you wish, the keywords that will help you in the rest of the activities. A plane crash is a truly catastrophic incident. Whatever size aircraft, the words that follow may make you think twice about air travel. Air France flight 4590 disaster was one of the worst reputation for the Concorde supersonic plane. Even if it was not the deadliest crash, it took place on the 25th of July, 2000. So as you can see here, a plane crash, aircraft, 25th of July, 2000. They all refer to the event and when it happened. As the supersonic plane was taken off from Francis Charles de Gaulle International Airport, it hit a piece of broken things lying on the runway, which burst one of its tires. Some of the broken things stuck the plane's wing, causing one of the filled tanks to explode. So here, Charles de Gaulle International Airport, refers to the area where the crash occurred. With fuel leaking, flames covered the entire plane. This is why it was unable to climb or accelerate. While its wings were disintegrating, the Concorde, crashed into the nearby Hotel Isemo, killing 100 passengers and 9 crew members on board, as well as 4 people on the ground. The authorities were investigating when our group arrived on the scene. So here, as you can see, Hotel Isemo, killing 100 passengers, 9 crew, as well as 4 people on the ground. The place that was affected, they refer to the place that was affected by the event and the number of victims. So all these are the most important, and elements in the text. So this is what you should do. First, to find the key indicators. So to find the key indicators to understand the text.
Well, and then we go to the first activity. Well, you need to select the appropriate title for your text. Remember, here in this activity, what you underlined before, the keywords, are going to be of a great help to you. Let's check the titles and see. So, title A, street accident. B, an airplane crash. C, the best air flight. And of course here, the title, or the appropriate title, it was going to be B, an airplane crash, referring to the first keyword you had in the first part of the text. And of course, the same thing should be done with activity 2, since you are going to use what you learned from the text to fill in a table with the different information. So we have what? The event, an airplane crash. I don't need to write a full sentence. Second, when and where. I mentioned the date and the place, 25th July 2000, France. The cause, or why. It hit a piece of broken debris or things lying on the runway. Well, and what? The consequences. So we have, you need just to write the number of the victims. 100 passengers, 9 crew members, 4 people on the ground, of course, who were killed after this accident.
Okay, so in activity 3, you are going to answer auxiliary questions. So first, read the questions carefully and then answer them. And remember, the answers to auxiliary questions are either yes or no, followed by a subject and the correct auxiliary in the correct tense. And the correct answer, of course. If you are not sure of the tense or the form, you can answer just by saying or writing yes or no. So, example 1, were there 113 people killed in the catastrophic incident? Answer 1, no, there weren't. Or just no. Number 2, did the group Air Fire Services arrive after the authorities? So answer number 1, yes, they did. Or just write yes.
And then comes activity number 4, where you deal with the vocabulary. Remember, here you need to reread quickly the text in order to find the synonym or the opposite. And the words given to you in the exam paper are going to help you to find the exact words. For instance, when they give you an adjective, like in our exam here, we have disastrous, you need to look for an adjective, not a verb or a noun, just an adjective that is going to be the same meaning, and in our case, or an opposite in any BOM exam. Okay, so adjective, adjective, noun, noun, verb, verb, and so on. Let's see the answers for this exam, for this activity. So, 1, disastrous. Of course, you need to reread, find an adjective, and in this case, catastrophic. 2, touch strongly. It is a verb, so the opposite or the synonym is going to be to hit. 3, very dangerous, synonym, deadliest. Both are adjectives, of course, in the superlative form. And 4, to speed, a verb, so I need to find a word to accelerate, which is also a verb.
So now, let's see together the activities for the mastery of language. So the first one is, of course, supply the punctuation and capital letters where necessary, of course. So remember, and it is really very important, remember that for capital letters, in addition to proper nouns like name of persons, places, months of the year, all sentences start with capital letters. For the punctuation signs, notice that this sentence is in the affirmative form. So it will end, of course, with a full stop. We do the same when the sentence is in the negative form. In Sudan, the airplane crashes are dramatically increasing. So here, have a look at the first word. In, it should be written with a capital letter. And then you have Sudan, because it is a name of a country. And then we have a comma. So the sentence will be, in Sudan, the airplane crashes are dramatically increasing.
And of course, here the sentence finishes with a full stop. Now let's move to the next activity where you need to put the verbs in the correct tense. Peter is very unlucky. He has accidents nearly 2 or 3 times a day. Yesterday, his hair, the verb catch, fire as he was cooking chips. So you have first the time indicator yesterday, which means the action it happened in the past. It's over, it's finished. So the action here, catch, becomes caught. 2. Earlier in the morning, he fell down from the ladder while he painted. So we have here a long action that was interrupted by a small one, a short one. So he fell is in the past simple, which means that paint is the long one, was painting. And we have the time indicator while. Number 3, later in the afternoon, after work, he ran to catch the bus when he bumped into the lamp post. Of course, here we've got a long action that was interrupted by a violent second action. So was running to catch the bus and then bumped into the lamp post.
Okay, now the pronunciation activity, where you will have to classify the words according to the pronunciation of the final ed. So for de, we have followed and involved. To, we have crashed and engulfed. And id, you have accelerated and landed.
And now it is time to deal with part 2 of the exam, the written expression, which is going to be the part that will take a longer time than the previous ones, okay? So make sure to use your time wisely and remember the following tips to succeed in this part. So the first tip is read the instruction, identify the task type, respect the task layout, use the prompt given in the instruction, and of course include the grammar forms mentioned in the instruction.
You have recently heard or watched on TV the last rockfall that hit Vijaya. Your friend missed the program and wants to get the details of the incident. So write the report. Write the report you made to your friend using the right past tenses and time markers, and you have to include the following information.
Of course, and then you have to use the prompts given to you in the instructions. Here you have a table with the different information that you will need in your paragraph. You have what happened, the event, where, when, why, and what the consequences. So make sure you use those information, the date, the places, the number of the victims in your paragraph. And of course, the most important thing is that you need to respect the task layout.
And remember, 2, 1, think about the topic. 2, write neatly. 3, use punctuation signs. 4, use capital letters where necessary, of course. And finally, read your written production at least twice.
Now, together, we're going to have a look at 3 different samples of written expressions done by some learners. So here, let's check the first one and see if it is correct or no, if it's appropriate or no. So, follow with me. Dear friend, I'm writing this letter to tell you about the rockfall that happened in Bajaya in Auqas. The rocks fell because of the heavy rain. You notice here that this is not a report to a friend, this is a letter. So concerning the task and layout, the learner here did a mistake. Of course, it is talking about the same topic, which is the rockfall in Bajaya, and the writer here or the learner used the prompt information given to him. This is true, correct, and the grammar is correct, but the main mistake here is the layout. It shouldn't be a letter. The second one, we have another one, police report. An accident happened in Algeria between a bus and a van. There was 3 injured victims and 6 people died. Police arrived to help. You were not asked to write a police report, just to report an event to a friend, so task and layout were completely wrong. The topic also is different. Yes, we know that it is an accident, but where did it happen? How did it happen? The reason, the consequences, nothing is mentioned. The prompts, half of them were used. We know that it happened in Algeria, but we don't know where. And of course, the grammar here, lots of grammar mistake with the verb which are not in the correct tense.
In the last one, the learner produced the task report to a friend. He was able to respect the task layout. He used the prompts given in the instruction, and even the grammar also, though there are some, of course, minor mistakes.
All right, then. Make sure you listen to what we said, and goodbye.
Goodbye.